Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? How are you? I got a big smile on my face. I was telling Davina, my publishing manager, this morning. I'm like, I'm super jacked. I'm so jacked. I'm really pumped up. She's like, Dave, just chill, man. Just chill. She's like, have you surfed yet today? Like, go out in the surf. Just relax, man. But it was about excitement. There was this real excitement because today is the day that we officially launch the Inspirational Book Writers online book writing intensive, the second online book writing intensive. We did the first one in January of 2020. Gosh, that feels a long time ago, doesn't it? Whew, how much has happened since then? But yeah, we're live. Hey, Davina, speak of the devil. I was just talking about you, Davina. We're live, which is super exciting news because it's an opportunity for you to join us and in an epic container to write your book in a week. Because that's what it's all about. We've been doing book retreats for, when did we start? 2014. We did 20 book retreats in Australia and in Hawaii. And then late last year, I was like, we got to change the model. And we went online. We went online before Corona hit. Thank you to astrology. I've been studying astrology and I knew there would be a change in structure and a change in things. Hey to everyone jumping on. Say hi when you're jumping on. So yes, kind of felt like things were going to change, and so we went online. And now this is the second. This is the second intensive, and I'm super excited for it because I'm going to say it now more than ever is the time for people with wisdom, with truth, with insights, with special knowledge, with stories, to stand up and share that message with the world in the form of a book so that we can change this world. Because holy beep, 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 isn't there some crazy stuff going on in the world? There's restriction, there's censorship, there's, if you ask me, there's a lot of overreaction. And what was hidden, we are now seeing surface. So the darkness that was once hidden is now surfacing, and a lot of people are waking up. This is a moment in human history where people are waking up. And I think that's exciting. I think that's exciting for me. I think that's exciting for you. I think that's exciting for everyone that has a message, that is an entrepreneur, that has a business, that has some sort of unique methodology or unique skill or talent that can make an impact for someone, that can change someone's life, that can solve their problem, that can raise their consciousness, that can uplift them. I think now is the time. If you've been holding onto a book, there's no more time. It's like now. It's like do it now, get it out to the world now. And that's why we created the book. That's why we created this intensive, because writing a book is something that it's like trying to climb Mount Everest without a Sherpa. It can be done. It's just really hard. It's just really, really hard. So that's why we've come up with the intensive. And that's the promise of the week, is to join us in an online container, fully supported, with guidance, with a month's worth of pre-work, so you can get your head straight, so you can get aligned, so you know what you want, you know what you want to say, so that you can bring forth your book out into the world. That's what this is about. So, who's here? Say hi if you're here. I feel like I'm just kind of up on my podium, just kind of ranting. Oh, my mum's here. if you've joined us on any of the inspirational book writers retreats on North Stradbroke Island, you would know that my mum, Kathy, her Anzac biscuits, insane. They have a reputation. They have a big reputation. And she also often helps with the transport to and from the airport. But we're now online, so thanks, Mum. We don't need you for the transport, but we might look at an option of getting some Anzac biscuits shipped to people. How would that be? I know a couple of people that would definitely be up for that. So yes. All right, let's talk about what the intensive is. And kind of how it works and who it's for, okay? So we call it the Winter Book Writing Intensive because in Australia it's winter. And although it's about 20 degrees or 68 Fahrenheit if you're in America, it just snowed in Australia, so I like to be in snow attire, and I did just surf today, so I'll be rocking the winter attire, and I really like that. It's kind of a different energy from the summer. The summer has a very like let's go. It's really fast. Whereas the winter energy is a bit more inward, a bit more receptive, a bit more introspective, which I think is perfect for book writing. Absolutely perfect. And then at the same time, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, by the time we run this intensive, we'll be moving into your summer, so you'll have a lot of like summer heat. So it's kind of interesting. We've got the winter happening, but then all our participants in the Northern Hemisphere will also have that kind of summer going on as well. So we'll have both energies at the same time. Okay, so what is the book intensive about? Let's talk about it. So, very simple idea. Join us for a week, the 1st to the 7th of June, and we will help you to write your book in a week. It is that simple. You will be joining a group of like-minded people who are on a similar mission to you. They want to write a book. They are either coaches, entrepreneurs, speakers. They are influencers. They are authority figures. And they are writing their book to up-level, to increase their impact, their authority, their influence. The Hawaiians have this term that they call mana, right? And it means spiritual power, spiritual influence. And it's the power that is in the unseen. And so, although writing a book, on the one hand, it's brilliant for business. There's so many things you can do with a book for business. That's why I love it. You can use the book to get more speaking gigs, to do podcast tours, which is probably more like in this climate, podcast tours. We've had people that have sold out their practitioner training programs following a book launch. So many different business benefits. But what I think this is really about, if we kind of dive in on a more energetic level, this is about unearthing the power that exists in your message, that exists in your voice, and bringing that forward, bringing that out into book form, out into the world. Hey, Sigourney, guys, Sigourney's already in. Love it. Guys, Sigourney joined us for the January book writing intensive, smashed out her book, launched it in April, and it was an absolute, what a cracker. Livanthan. I hope I said it right. Livanthan. An absolute cracker of a book. Went bestseller in 6 countries, an inspirational book writer's record, which was just superb. So well done, Sigourney. And Sigourney's back for her second book. So guys, I hope that for those people sitting on the fence, like, does this work? It's like, well, if people are coming back for a second dig, there's chances are it works. It does work. It absolutely works. The only way it doesn't work is, I always joke with Davina about this. Once we had a client come to the island, not even stay with us, not follow any instructions, not take any coaching. She's a real, difficult person to work with, and still did 75% of a book. So, you can like avoid us as much as possible and it will still happen just because you've said yes in the first place. Sigourney is launching 3 this year, guys. Sigourney says it works. It's just, if we were in my office right now, I could show you the whole bookshelf. We got 2 full shelves of books by our inspirational book writers now. But I wanted to be outside, and don't you agree it's a lovely setting? So guys, how it works, there's 1 week of intensive work, okay? That's the 1st to the 7th of June. Prior to that, in the month of May, so that's this month, we are doing the pre-work. Sigourney says it's the best thing you'll ever do. Yeah, it unleashes your voice. The most painful and the most rewarding. Yeah, painful. We see, the thing with the way we do the week, sometimes you need to, like, the intensity of doing it in a week causes you have to face your stuff. You have to face the procrastination, the fears. You have to face the reasons why you didn't do it in the past. You face them. And we support you in a container. There's other people in the container going through the exact same journey. This is, when I say this is for coaches, this is for entrepreneurs, this is for leaders, really, this is for people who legit just want to roll up their sleeves and get it done. Okay? Sometimes people can get lost in the spiritual realms and avoid doing what they know they need to do. We will call you on that. It'll be like, I think there's a little bit too much meditation and not enough just getting the fucking words down. Okay? It's time to roll up the sleeves. Guys, I'm as spiritual as they come. You want to talk to me about astrology? I've got hours for you. Hours. Medical intuition, Tantra, Reiki, spiral, coaching, NLP. You name it. I've done it. But I also bring, and my team brings, a get it done energy. So sometimes people fear that they're not going to get it done. But often that's because they've tried to climb Mount Everest without a Sherpa, right? We are your Sherpas. Not that we can't climb it for you, but myself, Davina Davidson, and Nicole McClellan, who's our inspirational book writers coach, who is joining us from Canada to coach in the North American time zone. Guys, this is so exciting. We're gonna have check-ins around the clock. This is going global. The last one was global. We had 30 people write their book in a week. 13 of them were international. Half. Almost half. Just a smidge under half international. Now we've brought in Nicole. Guys, Nicole wrote a book with us in 2017 called I Did Something Different and It Worked, the Zen curriculum. Nicole, that book triggered a whole heap of unfolding for Nicole. She then started her own not-for-profit organization called the OnWork Project, which helps young women gain scholarships. So the reason I tell you that story is that Nicole has been through our process. She has written a book herself. She has unearthed the power of her message and then accelerated her evolution onto her path, which was for this not-for-profit. And she will be joining us to do check-ins in the North American time zone. I'm so excited for that. This just brings really international reach. And so while we're sleeping, while Davina and I, because Davina's in Brisbane, I'm up here on the Sunshine Coast, while we're sleeping, the check-ins are going to keep rolling. So no matter where you are in the world, we've got you back. And I think that's what it's all about, guys. That's ultimately what I want to create here is the mission behind this has always been, if we can get great people like you with great ideas to stand up and share those ideas with the world, those transformative ideas, those transformative stories, those transformative methodologies, if we can play the tiniest part in helping you get your stuff out into the world and then that impacts, that uplifts your people, then we're going to create this lift effect on the world. And then we're going to live in this is our humble attempt at changing the world, because you got to admit there's a lot of global systems that are broken right now, The fraud, the corruption, the censorship, all sorts of stuff is coming out. The restrictions, every single day it's coming out, And people like you have the answers. And we want to help you get that knowledge out into the world. And a book is one of the best ways to do that, that you can possibly do. So what does the week actually... So this month we've got the pre-work. And then in the first week of June, we have the intensive. So what does the pre-work look like? Well, let's talk about it. So there's two main aspects to the pre-work. Number one is we will do a group book map session. Okay, a group book map session. Now the book map is super, super important. So many people set out on their book writing journey without a plan. And so they end up spinning their wheels, or they end up going in this direction and then writing 5,000 words of one book and then realizing they need to write another book. And then 6 months later, nothing's happened. And 6 years later, nothing's happened. The idea of the book map is to save you months, if not years of false starts by getting you off on the right foot. Okay? And we do that in the group environment where you get to be part of getting clear on all levels. Sigourney, what a legend. Sigourney's just paid for one of her team members to join us in June too. Awesome. So the people are joining us. The people are joining us. Love it, love it, love it. Love it. Thank you. Look forward to meeting your team member, Sigourney. So that's the book map, okay? The book map, and this is not just like this is not a dry kind of logical only sort of planning, like, you know, how many people just vomit when they hear planning. It's like, no, this is not that, okay? The book map session is both emotion and logic. It has to make sense for the reader. We're talking about communicating information in the way that will best reach your people. But it's also got to feel good, okay? We want your book to hum, to have a vibration, to call out to people, whether it's on a shelf in a bookstore or online on an online bookshelf. We want the book to hum, to attract people. This is about becoming magnetic, right? It's about becoming magnetic in your presence online. This is the mana that I was talking about with the Hawaiians. They have this presence, right? This presence that is unseen, but it's an unseen influence. You just know when someone walks into a room, it's like, that person, there's some oomph behind that person, right? This book writing exercise on an energetic and also identity level, that's what happens. You power up. Sigourney's just said, Erica Perry, you're in. Woo! Awesome. Love to see you in there, Erica Perry. And of course, Sigourney. So the book map is super important because it saves you from spinning your wheels. It looks at the emotional and the logical to make sure they both work together. And often, guys, what I find is people, they're either too heavy in one or too heavy in the other. You know, sometimes we get people with science backgrounds and the book is, you know, or the planning and the book is really quite dry. And then other times we get people that just have no structure or logic to what they're doing, but they're channeling it, or they're going with their intuition. They're really in the feminine and they're just, you know, really just letting it flow. Both approaches are great, and what we help you to do is bring together the right amount of structure for your book, not overly structuring it, not under structuring it, just finding finding your book's song. Like, where does it hum, right? If I be really honest with you guys, I mean, my background is in law, right? So yes, I can see the structure, make sure all that's sweet. But what I actually do when I look at a book, before I even read it, I feel it. I'm like, does this have rhythm? You know, it's almost like music, reading music. It's like, does this have a beat? Does this have a flow? Like, is this engaging? Was the wave pumping and then did it just stop? Or did it just go, blah, and then it shut? You know, what's the feel of the book? That's what we're looking at as well. Because we want both. So in the book map, what we look at, first of all, we check in with higher self and go, what's your higher self saying to you about your book? Then we look at what's your purpose for the book? What's your vision for the book? What's your message? And this is something, if you don't, a lot of people get the purpose and the vision right because they're big thinkers. They've got, they're thinking big, right? But if you don't get the message right, then your message just isn't going to land. It's not going to be as powerful. There's not going to be enough cut through, right? So when we talk about message, we're talking about nailing a title and subtitle that really rocks, yeah? And there's a bit of a formula and a science for how to do that. Then the structure is about, like, the one question. I'll just give you a little snippet here. The one question I always ask people when it comes to structure is, if that's the big idea that you want to communicate to people in this book, what are the pieces that they need to know about in order for you to communicate your idea? And then that's where we unearth the structure. We get the chapters clear. It's like, oh, well, they'd need to know this, and then they would 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 need to know that, and then they would need to know that. And then I go, oh, well, there you go. You've got 7 chapters. How about it? And everyone just goes, whoa. So that's what happens in the book map. If you join the intensive, we do a group book map, okay? There is an option to upgrade to a one-on-one book map with me. That's where I get to go deep. I get to go deep with you and give you 100% custom tailored advice on your book. And I would highly recommend that you take that up if you can. Definitely jump on the one-on-one. There's a limited number of them because obviously I'm one person and I've got limited time in 24 hours in the day. But if you can, jump on that. So that's the book map. That's the book map. That's the first part of the pre-work. The second part of the pre-work is quantum book writing strategies. And this session at the last intensive had some awesome feedback. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? Well, essentially what I'm talking about with the quantum book writing strategies is how to get your book done in a week and how to get into flow so the book happens with grace and ease. Okay? Oh, we're getting a bit of, how's this lighting? Just need to adjust my lighting as the sun goes down. You're kind of joining me for sunset. I should have made this like a sunset hour, shouldn't I? We all should have had drinks and, we could have been more people around the table. We could have just been chatting. Maybe sometime when these restrictions lift, we can all gather at a table and there will be drinks. And there will be, yes, perhaps sometime. Quantum book writing strategies, guys, what that is that's everything that I've learnt in the last 6 years, well, nearly 7, since 2014, about how to access the quantum reality and access potentiality and use that for book writing. That's everything I've learned, because there is a formula, there is a strategy, there is a particular number of things that if you do them, you will be able to drop into the quantum reality and get your book done. Guys, I am getting heaps of messages come through saying people are in, people are, yep, so love it. Love that people are joining. I'm on the phone at the top, and then I'm on my computer at the bottom, and the messages are coming up on the computer. So if you see my eyes go down, it's because it's like, oh, people are jumping in or asking questions or whatever. Yes. What else am I talking about? So that's quantum book writing strategies. That session happens in, so I'm doing both the group book map and the quantum book writing session. That is happening live for this June group. I'm doing live sessions of those this month, okay? As well as that, as soon as you sign up, you get access to those sessions from January straight away. So if you want to jump in, you don't even want to wait to join those live sessions. You get those trainings right away, like the second you're in. Cool. So that's the pre-work. And obviously, the sooner that you sign up, like if you sign up now, then you get more time in the container to let things germinate, to get prepared, etc., etc. I mean, we had people sign up literally 30 minutes before we started in January, but, you know, give yourself a little more time. Why not? Why not? Give yourself a little more time and enjoy the container for the month of May so that you can kind of absorb everything and really hit the ground running on the 1st of June. Cool. So that is the pre-work. Then on the intensive, it's the 1st to the 7th of June, and we will be running check-ins approximately every 90 minutes to 3 hours. We will release the check-in schedule, but nonetheless, there are check-ins. Basically, I think it's going to be about 20 hours a day, because now we've got Nicole joining us as a book coach from Vancouver, Canada. So we've got not only the Australian time zone, but we're also going to cover the US time zone, and I think that will overlap as well with Europe. So we're covering everything. What else? What else do I want to share? I think that's about all, guys. I think that's about all. I know a lot of... one thing I want to say is I know that writing a book is something that's really important for a lot of people. And I get messages all the time of people wanting to connect, who are thinking about it, who they've felt the urge. And I'll just say it. I can tell who's not for real. I can tell. I can tell who's merely interested, and then I can tell who is committed. Okay? And so the invitation that I want to extend to you tonight is that if you are one of those people that is committed to your book, that is prepared to put in the time and effort and energy and commit to the process, then this is the space for you. This is the space for you. I guarantee you will get your book done. As one of our January participants said, she said, Dave, I just know that if I hang around you long enough, you and your crew and your team, there's a book going to pop out of me at some point. And that's just the truth. So if you have a book in you, if you have a message that needs to be shared, whether it be, we get the full scope, right? Non-fiction books, we get the full scope. Everything from the really practical, from the really pragmatic, from the really grounded, from the really logical, from the really corporate leadership, teamwork, sort of. We get everything from that through to health, alternative health, energy medicine, relationships, business, entrepreneurship, finance, personal growth. If you're writing on anything, spirituality, if you're writing on any of those topics, or anything that's kind of related to that, then we're your people. We will support you and champion you to the very, very end. And, you know, this is a bit of a crazy time in the world. And what I want to say to you is, if, you know, what are you going to emerge from this time with? Who are you going to emerge from this time as? Things going to be the same? Or are you going to take the opportunity to step up and go, yes, this is my time, this is my moment, here we go. The choice is yours. And I would love to welcome you to the online intensive. My team would, Davina. Davina is like Chief Love Officer. Her job is to like love on everyone. I would really welcome you to join us. And if you've got any questions, please message me. I feel what's going to happen with this retreat is that the right people will show up, the right people will be there. And they always do. The right people are always there. So if I've met you recently, I know I did a few events. I was speaking at Freedom Fest in March, at Christy and Clint Morgan's event. I'm on a couple of podcasts later this month, the Game Changers podcast, and Carolyn Zanetti's podcast coming up in the 20th of May. If I've met you, if I've spoken with you over the last little bit, this is your moment. This is an opportunity this is my hand going out, going, we're open. Let's do it. Come join us. Come join us. And the people that say yes will come for the ride. They will leave. The train is leaving. The train is leaving. And I want you on the train. So guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching this live. Please share this with any of your friends who you know have a book in you, who you know want to... My face is turning. How about this? The sun's going down. So funny. I try and be deep and then the light just gets really weird. Oh, that's significantly more reasonable. How about that? I'm gonna high five myself for lighting effects. Honestly, guys, this is the opportunity. I would love you to be there. I would love for you to join us. If you do have questions about how it works or whatever, it's ridiculously inexpensive. It's super easy to say yes to. Come and join us for the online book writing intensive, the 1st to the 7th of June. Pre-work starts this month. Thanks for being here. I'm going to go have a coconut. Take care, and I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.